Hello, good afternoon. It's Thursday the 22nd of August. I'd say there's 8 days left in the transfer window, but listening to our manager then, we won't be taking part in that, it doesn't seem, unless something changes. But he was filling us with hope ahead of the game at Spurs, telling us all our players are injured. No, it is frustrating, isn't it, that the season's one game old and I've got quite a few injuries already.
Deflating is the word. Deflating.
Yeah.
Feel really deflated after that. Just feels like the international break can't come quick enough.
This was a lot of the case, I think, of Everton over like the past 20 years, that it always seems just get that first international break out the way and then we sort of start. Even like times under David Moyes, it was always like, not always, but there were seasons where you were just like, are we going to bring anyone in? And it was like, just let's get to the international break. Yeah. And I remember like, and when Portsmouth beat us 3-0 at home, all that, and that was depressing. Sat in the Gladys Street and Glenn Johnson was bending them in. It was depressing.
I think the major worry is that like the players that will come back are not going to like massively. They're going to improve us, but they're not going to massively boost us. That's the worry to me.
I think James Garner will make a difference because he can play in a couple of positions. I think Branthwaite will make a big difference because he's calm, isn't he? I still feel like Trippier I think that'll happen. But Everton Newcastle will have to take a hit on what they want, which is they want his whole wages being paid. There's not a chance Everton can afford anywhere near that.
No.
But
who could?
But I think he'd be a decent signing for Everton, a loan signing. Because obviously we've got problems at right back. He's just said in the press conference, the manager there, that Patterson seems like it's going to be after the international break for him. And you know what's really, the thing I find really frustrating when these kind of players are injured is like the Doncaster game would have been ideal for these, get 90 minutes. You know, even someone like, dare I say his name, but you know, say Delhi would have been given a contract, and that Doncaster game would have been a good, because there's not many opportunities where you're going to get any minutes. It's almost like Patterson, it almost feels like his best option is a loan. That's how it feels. I'm not saying it is, and I'm not saying that's how it'll play out. I just mean, like, you look at it and you go, there's no, like, Ashley Young's not available this weekend. Some people will be made up with that, but in the grand scheme of things, Tarkowski doesn't feel like he's going to be available this weekend. So you're going to be bringing Jake O'Brien in to play with Michael Keane, or it's Mason Holgate.
They have to play right back, won't he, Mason Holgate?
Holgate will have to play, unless he plays 3 centre-backs, with Michalenko's one of them, and then he has wing-backs, which is probably the way I'd go, in all fairness. Then your wing-backs would be McNeil and Harrison. And then the core he'd have to play as a midfielder, but then who plays off Dominic Calvert-Lewin? Is it Beto? And you have to go 3-5-2, is it? You know what I mean? Or did you put Lindstrom in and go, well, there's an extra, or Ndai rather, and go... You know what I mean? It's just not ideal, and it's a tough game anyway. It's only the second Premier League game of the season.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's not good at all. It's just... It drags you down a bit, doesn't it? It drags you down a bit. No players and no encouragement that there's going to be any players coming in, and the whole thing just seems really bad at the moment. Like there just seems to be, I don't know. You almost want to get like into a couple of months into the season before you even like think about anything, because I know like you shouldn't gauge anything by the first game, but. Like I was shocked at how bad it was on Saturday, and then you go into your second game, and you've got hardly any players. And I know we lost the first couple of games last year, and I think we lost the first couple of games the year before, didn't we? The year before, so it's not a total shock, but it's just at the moment I just feel like everyone, all that, there was a nice little bit of optimism in the summer, and I just think that's quickly gone away. And you know, don't know when we're going to be able to. It's going to be an uphill task to sort of get that back. It's just a little bit worrying at the moment. Especially I look at some of the other teams and they're doing business, and we're not doing any business, and that's just as worrying, because that truly reflects that there is no money, like literally no money.
Yeah, you can't. We're not doing business because we're satisfied with the squad, are we?
Yeah.
The manager's just said it again. He's basically saying, like, got about 13 players. That's not great.
Yeah, like that's a bit worrying. That, and I think the next week is going to be really, really busy in the transfer window, and I know there's the adage where you go, well, if you do your business early, and I know we did do our business early, but it's clearly not enough, and it's clearly not in the right areas. And the fact that we're linked with Trippier shows that. I mean, Trippier would be a good sign in the grand scheme of things. I know he's 33, but he's just played most of an international tournament.
So, and he was playing out of position. Well,
he can play right back and left back. And if it was to happen,
he's a better right back, obviously.
Well, he'd be first choice right back. But if it was to happen, it'd be one of them where you go, yeah, that makes sense. But
it's still not.
It still doesn't. No, I mean it get you back four in line with obviously with Branthwaite being back. But it's it's just it's August, and you're just like looking at the season as a whole, going, this is going to be a long one again.
I even with Saturday, still think Everton, in my opinion, will have no problem staying up. They look at teams like Forest. Forest are not great,
but they're buying players, though.
Doesn't matter.
I know, but that's.
I was talking to Greg.
But surely that's all that matters.
Talking to Greg yesterday, he's a big Forest fan, goes everywhere with them, and he was just like, hopefully we're better than the three that come. We're all in the same boat. But Billy was there. Billy surely from Brentford.
Yeah, I get that. But surely if teams are buying players and are improving, then that's the only thing. That's the one thing we're not doing. You know, I know. So if everyone's improving,
we brought our players.
No, I know. But if everyone's improving and we're not, then that's the worry for me.
No,
we don't. We have a very, very small squad. I just look at the makeup of it now, and I'm just not convinced.
Listen, because you might be right. We might be terrible all season, but I've said it. I've argued with people the last few years over it, and I've been proven correct. I don't see the bottom three getting 30 points. I've said it before. I've watched all of them this weekend. Ipswich were all full of enthusiasm in the opening half, and they couldn't get near Liverpool in the second half. Leicester should have been 5 down and then finished the game strongly. Fair play to them. Southampton played 10 men for 70 minutes and were poor.
Yeah, I know, but I've also watched us, and I've seen how bad we were.
I'm saying, okay.
I'm just saying, I know other teams are poor, but I'm saying from what we saw from one game.
Blinkers are on. Tommy, see you in May. I'll see you in May. Everton will finish above Forest again, so don't worry. I'll see you in May. I'm not going to discuss it now, because ultimately you can say whatever you want, and I can say whatever I want, but we'll know in May, won't we? Like last year. And like the year before, you may well be right, Tommy. We might be relegated. I have no idea. I don't think they will. We'll see. That's all I'm saying. Everton, anyway, it is what it is. It's just deflating, like you say. That's it. The whole thing, what's going on right now, is deflating, because you want it to be. John, the bottom three, like the 3 promoted teams, are poor. End of. Anyway, but you might be right. We'll see, won't we? There's not much you can do. We're sat here. If I'd be saying to the manager, there's no question. I'd be saying to Farhad Moshiri, listen, you know your way you want to sell this, mate. You're the owner. You need to put some money in, because we need to spend some money. We've got Jarrod Branthwaite. We will sell by June the 30th. We know we will, because that's almost become the unofficial 3rd transfer window now. So we know we'll sell Jarrod Branthwaite by June 30th. I don't think there's very little opportunity for Everton to sell Jarrod Branthwaite now. He's injured anyway. Man United ain't coming with 70 million. No one else is paying 70 million. And Everton have said quite openly they're not selling them for less than that. So
it'd be admitting defeat of Everton to sell Jarrod Branthwaite.
But I just don't think they'd do it now anyway, because I don't think they can get what they'd need in anyway.
That's what I mean. It'd be
I just can't see it. So therefore, he's not going anywhere. So Everton to create money on their own would have to sell Calvert-Lewin. Well, doesn't seem to be. Again, I think anyone coming for Dom is coming on the 29th or the 30th. I think. Because they're going to really test Everton's resolve by coming late and going, we're willing to give you money for a player that's going to walk here.
But that wouldn't make
Everton do the
that
deal?
Doesn't make any sense though, because the resolve wouldn't be in my eyes wouldn't make any sense then, because
if Everton get a bid on the 29th for Dom,
what would be the point?
20 million
but
quid.
what would be the point?
No, but do you think they can turn it down? I don't.
I think they can, because surely what can you do with that money? If you can't do anything with that money, that's great that money's sitting there. But if you're talking about
but they might go. You would expect, even if the sort of like, I don't know, even if we give them the benefit of the doubt, like they're a recruitment team, so they should have, and I'm sure they have got like a list of players who they can go after and who will be available over the next 8 days. Now, they're not going to be great players, are they? Because other teams probably would have got them by now. But I think if Everton got that money, just say it was Newcastle, I don't know who it is, no one might come in anyway, nobody might come for them. But say it was Newcastle and they come in and went, we'll pay off 20 million quid, and Everton are going, he walks for nothing in 10 months. We can't do that, right? That might enable Everton to get 3 players in. That's 20 million.
There'd be 3 poor players though, wouldn't he?
Unless you gamble.
And Ketty's going for 30 million to Forest.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where the bar is now.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying that, they might be able to go and get Adebayo from Luton for like 18 million or something. It's down payments, it's cash.
Yeah,
isn't it? I think Everton are hoping that Maupay will go. I think we know that. But it'll be buttons, so Everton will try and fill that with whoever they can grab. I imagine that might be a loan. The hope and Holgate, someone will come in for him, but I don't see it. Michael Keane, don't see it, but Everton would take that, wouldn't he? I think Everton would sell the Corey. I honestly think if someone offered 15 million, they'd sell the Corey.
What do Everton do next Friday if a bid comes in for Mason Holgate and we've only got 4 fit defenders for the Saturday? But you know what I mean? It's
like someone out the 21.
No, I know, but that's the thing, isn't it?
No, you're absolutely right. We're at because we've had so many injuries as well. We're at that point now where you're going, what do we do? Do we take the money? Is the only way, I guess, you take the money is if you are, you've got to look longer, haven't you?
Of course you have.
So Everton might go, okay,
one game.
Sheffield United, for argument's sake, just use them again. Sheffield United have offered 2.5 million for Mason Holgate. We can take some money for him and get rid of him. With that, we can get, just say for argument's sake, Kieran Trippier on loan, just using them names because they're there. Of course you'd do it, right? Now Trippier ain't going to be available for Bournemouth game because it's past the deadline. You'd have to go, well, all right, Roman Dixon plays against Bournemouth then. And I know that the manager might want to do that, but that is where you're at, aren't they? And that's why I'm saying like the Corey. Ideally, you don't want to lose Abdoulaye Doucouré, but he has got 10 months left on the deal. And you have got Illiman and Dye who can play that role, or Jesper Lindstrom. Doucouré got goals last season, but he only scored 1 from December to May, and it was in May. So you don't know whether he's going to weigh in with them goals or not. He might do. But Everton might get that money and go, yeah, but we can buy 3 players with that, or we can get 2 players in that are going to make us stronger over that. They're the gambles now that you're hanging by, aren't they? Know what I mean? And it's difficult now, and that's why I'm saying PSR terms, Everton are 30 million up, but quite clearly Everton have got no cash that they can spend right now to do these deals. I think Leeds want 12 million up front for Nonto, and I've told Everton it's still on that deal. Everton got nowhere near 12 million.
Is it?
That's not going to happen. So if Everton created the situation where they got that money, maybe then they'd go and try and buy Nonto, and that deal could be done. And no, then you have to pay it over the rest of the contract. But Everton quite clearly haven't got any room in the budget for that. You know,
it's a perfect storm, isn't it? It's a perfect storm of again, a small squad being hit with injuries to obviously key players, and you know, obviously with the suspension of Ashley Young as well, and players coming back from fitness. Let's not forget Taki didn't have a full pre-season. Michalenko didn't have a full pre-season. And you could see that last week in the sharpness of Taki's not available on Saturday, which
don't think he will he?
He didn't miss a game last season, did he? I don't think.
No.
So, there's a player
he's not missed any game.
There's a player you can rely on. Yeah, the only minutes he missed last season was when he went off against Sheffield United with a concussion. So there's a player that you've relied on your whole time, and suddenly he's missing. And then you're looking around, and that's it, isn't it? It's a perfect storm, and it does happen. It does happen to a lot of teams. Not maybe not a lot of teams. It does happen to teams on different occasions. It's just not great when it's the beginning of the season and you're all looking for that optimism, and you're trying to create something positive in your first few games before.
Yeah, he's not missed a single Premier League game.
Yeah. So that would be a big blow, but again, that comes from that to me is he didn't have a full pre-season, and you go on the first day and you're suddenly up against players who are faster than you, and you're trying to, that's what's going to happen if you don't get a proper pre-season. And again, that's all about being stretched, isn't it? Maybe if Branthwaite had been fit, then maybe it would have been Keenan Branthwaite first game of the season. Instead, your manager says, no, I'm not going to risk him. And that's what happens when you've got a squad, when you keep going back to the well,
and
to a small squad.
Judging by what he was saying there as well, Branthwaite ain't back till after the
I don't think any of them will be back till after the international break. I really don't think.
James might be for Bournemouth, apparently. James Garner might be for Bournemouth, actually. He's back training again. But he said Patterson was back on the grass last week, and then today he said Patterson is long term. Said nowhere near it.
So what's going on?
Yeah.
And no one even pushes them about these. Like, it bugs me that these press conferences, nobody actually. The first question should be, who've you got available for tomorrow? Not some clever question that they can stick on the news. It should be, who've you got available Saturday? Who's in and who's out? Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah. Anyone missing who started the game last Saturday? Yeah. Shouldn't he? And anyone back who missed the game last Saturday? Because he's sat there, isn't he? He's sat there and they're going, any more questions? He's waiting for a question. Why doesn't someone say, Sean, can I just double check?
Because there's no one in the room, is there? Yeah. There's no one in the room. It sounded like today the people who normally ask the questions towards the end, the good questions, weren't there.
Oh, yeah.
Julia asked a good question, fair play to her, but fella rocks in from Sky and he's not an Everton fella, and he's like, not bothered, are he? They're just
frustrating, isn't it?
I don't understand, right? Genuinely, I've said this 1,000 times. Why before the press conference starts, Everton's media people don't go round to them with a sheet saying this is the injury list, or Everton announce before the press conference who's available and who's not available for Saturday. I don't get that. Where's your injured?
They might just not want to. They might just not want to try and give.
I know, but it's
the heads up, just like Spurs or something. No, but that's what
Spurs could probably tell us right now. Every single player is available, not available, and it wouldn't matter, would it?
Yeah, but I think when you're a better team, you don't worry about that. But I think
know, but he's already told everyone who's not available, hasn't he? Or maybe he hasn't told everyone who's maybe. But it's a weird. I find that very, very strange. It's like you're trying to get bits. Oh, who's available? Oh, yeah, he's not available.
Roy, he didn't sound like Tarkowski was going to be fit. Roy's just saying the only change on Saturday will be Holgate in for Young. I don't think Tarkowski's going to be fit, mate. Let's hope he's back for Bournemouth at home, which is a must-win.
I think I heard on Tuesday that Taki was out.
Yeah, I got told that it's hamstring on Monday.
You don't want to believe it. You just think
no. I was just like, yeah, but he told me he's back. We'd gone the other week and it wasn't true. But yeah, so hamstring injury. So it's touch and go. Well, you can't throw it. With a hamstring injury, you can't go right.
You can't do anything with a hamstring.
With Bournemouth is the one. The team will, for me, I think the team will be Pickford in goal, Holgate, Jake O'Brien, Michael Keane, Michalenko, and then it'll be Irabunum, Garner, Decore, McNeil, Harrison, and Dom. I missed anyone else. 4-5-1, won't it? That'll be. I'll be surprised if it's others. Because he even said there, he even quoted the minutes, what they equated to in games played last season, as to why the new players didn't start and won't start. That's what he done, didn't he?
Yeah.
He said, you know.
Well, Lindstrom and Dial start on Tuesday night.
Yeah, they'll play against.
They'll start on Tuesday night, and Beth will probably start on Tuesday night as well. And Jake O'Brien will start Tuesday night. I mean, he'll probably start in this one as well, but he'll get a couple of games back to back. It'll be interesting to see who's in the squad in terms of will he push someone like Dixon into it?
Against Doncaster or Saturday?
Saturday into the squad.
Hasn't he? Because
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just for cover.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, but I think Dixon should have been in the squad on Saturday.
But he also should have come on.
He should have come on against Roma. So that'll be interesting. And then does he then say to someone like Dixon on Tuesday night, start for you? Because what's the difference between starting Dixon against Tammy in the EFL Trophy than playing against Doncaster at home in the Carabao Cup?
Well, one's managed by Paul Tate, one's managed by Sean Dyche. That's the difference. I think, yeah, if I'm Sean Dyche, I'd start Dixon against Doncaster. Because there's no point starting Ashley Young, because you've got to make sure Ashley Young's fit for Bournemouth on the Saturday, haven't you? So that, whether people like that or not, that's where we are. There's no point.
And that's a big game. The Bournemouth game is a big game.
It's a huge game now, because we then go to Villa. So if we lose at Spurs, and then if we lost to Bournemouth, or if we drew with Bournemouth and then get beat by Villa, it's a dreadful start again. 4 games gone already with no wins. Now, anything can happen. Everton could go and fluke a victory on Saturday, and it won't play out like that. But if you were doing it, if you're an observer just looking at it, neutral, you would go, well, he'll get beat at Tottenham and he'll get beat at Villa, definitely. So then it comes down to Bournemouth at home then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And if they don't beat Bournemouth, then you're back again like last season. We had Fulham and Wolves. And
Bournemouth's got to be the game, because ultimately that's the game that got us out of it last year. So you're looking at it like that.
A kickstart, yeah.
You know, and you're looking at them thinking, well, you know, they've lost their main striker sort of thing, and they're bedding in new players and all the rest of it. Doesn't matter what the team is. Everton fans expect us to beat Bournemouth at home. You know, and we have done the last couple of seasons. So, you know, that's where we are. I mean, we're obviously bypassing the Spurs game, but that starts in many ways, as you said, on Tuesday night, to get that momentum going, to get that feeling going again of
don't beat Doncaster 5.
Get a win under your belt, get some goals under your belt. If whoever, I mean, don't get me wrong, it won't be easy. It wasn't easy last season when we played them. We looked like we were running through treacle last year when we played them. But of course, it's at home this time, and but again, it's a symptom of where we are. All this, isn't it? Let's be honest. You know, it's an absolute symptom of where we are.
Sucker's second goal, well, Beto the other night, though, didn't he? Lovely little ball from Lindstrom. I'm not somebody gets. Just me. There was a great little pass from Lindstrom and a lovely finish, and that's what you'd be looking.
I like that. I like that Sheriff took his attic off him. I thought that was hilarious.
I watched it before. I think the lad might have hooked it away, to be fair, but.
No, I mean, that's boss, though.
No, it's good that getting in and getting on the line. I mean, he missed 2 other sitters, Sheriff, like, but, you know, you're there to keep going, aren't you? Put it in. But,
no,
but listen, again, this summer, it was always going to be a tricky one, and everything else that's going on. Things should be getting better from next summer, but we're in this summer at the moment, and that's where it is, aren't we? Stadiums paid for and be getting finished and stuff, that's a positive, but the team is where we're all really, that's the thing we're really all bothered about.
That's it, isn't it?
And you should never get to it. It was dead interesting yesterday listening to clubs who've done their business, who were at the top and have done well, and it's like they're not really going, like Liverpool are only going to bring someone in if it improves them, or these are only going, unless you're Chelsea, you just buy everything. But in general, City, you know, they've got it improving. It'd be lovely to be in that position of going, we're only really going to bring someone in now in the next 8 days if it really improves us. Everton aren't there. And you have to create that. So it's on the owner. This is on the owner to create that money. The money's there. I asked John Blaine about it before. Of like, can the owner do that? Can the owner? He said, well, he can put money in anyway, but he can put money in as a loan, which the club pays back within the year. So if Everton could take some money now, knowing they're going to sell Branthwaite by the 30th, because we know we will. And it might not have to play out like that, because we might end up selling some players anyway, but rather than waiting and hoping someone's going to come and make 3 bids for 3 players, Everton should be leaning on Managerial now to make some funds available. It's not going to be, it doesn't have to be like, 50 million, but 15 million in cash would get Everton 2 or 3 players in before that window shuts. And Everton could still end up making that back anyway in the next 8 days if you sold like 3 or 4 players. I mean, so I think they're the kind of rules they're the kind of things that Everton should be looking to do. I'm saying they're not, but you would hope that's what is happening, because 2 players who are attacking, or a left back and someone with a bit of pace in a wide area would really give the place a boost. You go, right, get these players back, and with these we look all right. And there was definitely a gear change when the Freaking Group pulled out.
Of course,
Everton were doing stuff, and there was players they were going after, and we know certain players they were after, and it looked really positive, and it was like they're trying to move the needle a bit. And then the Freaking thing fell through, and everything stopped. Everything got slammed on. Ricardo Rodriguez would have been here if the Freaking thing would have carried on. The left back.
Well,
Nonso would have been here.
I'm even more devastated now.
And now you go, not happening. So we're back in that thing of hoping that we get bids in for a couple. Like, I think someone will buy Maupay, because I think Everton will take...
Well, Marseille have apparently still won him. But it's how you get the deal done, isn't it? And the deal can only be done if Everton extend his contract and they agree to take him on loan and buy him. So there's a lot of moving parts. If Everton give him a contract and then they decide not to buy him, then
there'd have to be an obligation.
That's what I'm saying. You've got to get your ducks in a row, haven't you? And that's one of the deals. But you look at it right now, and it's, as I said before, you look at the squad and you go, well, if you get rid of, I know it's a couple of games, isn't it? It's a couple of games before that break, before the international break. So you're looking at your squad going, got rid of him and we didn't replace him. God, the squad gets smaller all the time.
I just look and think, is like Maupay's never going to be an option.
No,
so you may as well get him out the door. He's never, like, whereas Michael Keane will be. So I'd understand them saying, well, he's staying for the rest of his contract. That's Holgate. They will use him if they have to, but we know that he's not someone the manager wants. So if you could sell Holgate and Maupay and get like £7.5 million or something, then that money can be used to get a couple in. Because you'd have to anyway for squad numbers. But whether that happens is a huge...
They're the ones I think that people will see as coming, though. They really are the ones. They're the ones that Marseille be like, well, you can get this other fella if you want. I
am amazed, though. Other Premier League clubs come for like Maupay.
See, I'm not, because they're not good players.
But he's done all right in the Premier League.
But they're not good players.
I was speaking to Billy yesterday, the Brentford fan. He was like, "You sad?"
So why didn't he take him?
He said, "I actually think we'll go back in for him if he's still there on the last couple of days for £3.5 million, £4 million."
See, I think
the obligation, I think, was 7.5. If they end up paying 3 for him or 4, it's good business.
No, it is. But they're not. I just think that clubs now in the Premier League, they're looking past these kind of players. You look at some of the players that, like, with the surplus of the amount of players Chelsea have got, there's bargains to be had there if you can do the right deal. Me and John went with the Brozier deal yesterday, and it's a great deal both ways, because if he keeps Ipswich up, then the 30 million is warranted. Then Chelsea get a nice. It does calling to play a player staying at a football club because he's helped them stay up, then isn't there a conflict of interest there with Chelsea? But these again, it's about recruitment, isn't it? Everton again are struggling to shift players who've got a year or so on their contracts, like we did last year, like we did the year before, like we did the year before. It just comes back to terrible recruitment. No one wants to buy our players because they're bad players. And they can get much better alternatives. And it actually does make a mockery of the whole played in the Premier League nonsense. Because other clubs are going to buy players who haven't played in the Premier League and taking them. And we've got like these players. Look at all these Premier League clubs are like, don't want your Premier League experience. We can get much better quality elsewhere, cheaper and on lower wages.
The thing is, the whole package makes it not a good deal for clubs because the wages that they're on. As well, whether you like them, don't like them as a footballer, the whole package has got to be right. And if their wages is just simply too high, you're right, clubs will just go elsewhere, get cheaper elsewhere. Put it this way: for the Premier League club, Holgate, Keane, Mopai ain't first choice for anybody in the Premier League, are they? So the Premier League club would only be buying them as a squad player or a filler because they think they might do the job. But the too expensive.
Look at Ipswich. Ipswich went and got Greaves from Hull, someone we were linked with. And, you know, it maybe in years past they would have looked at a Holgate or a Keane. But now they're like, no, because this lad's 24, 25, hasn't missed a game in 3 years. And if we go down, he's an asset for us in that league. Yeah. Where Michael Keane, who's like 30, 31, Mason Holgate's 28, they're both on big contracts. They're like, why would we look at a player like that? And that's unfortunately a position where Everton have got themselves into. And it's so ironic in many ways that a lot of these players' contracts or like sort of like the end of these contracts all sort of come about when we go to the new stadium. So it's like it's like the all end, and it's like, well, and it's just like we're just trying to get to that finish line, and it's just mad. It's absolutely mad. You know that's where we still are, and we can't shift them, and we'll probably have them for another year.
But this is again, it's why you've got to be spot on with your recruitment. Yeah. You've got to be spot on with your recruitment. You've got to do it. You got to put assets into your football club. Yeah. Just buying players for the sake of it doesn't help. Buying a certain type of player doesn't help. You have to go and get these younger, players who've got a real chance. Now, they will be gambles, some of them, but those gambles are normally the ones that. Well, look at not all of them.
Look at the kid Leeds are buying today, right? No one can tell me he wouldn't be perfect for Everton.
Who are they buying today?
They're buying that kid. They're buying a kid from Spain, aren't they? Right. So so from Almeria, right?
Almeria. Ramazani.
Larger Ramazani.
The one who we were trying to get.
He'd be absolutely.
We were trying to get him.
Exactly. So he'd be absolutely. Oh no, they've got money because they've sold players, and when people go, how come Fulham? I know because they sold players, right? We could have done that. Would have been Brandthwaite, of course. So it's one of them, isn't it? But that's the kind of player that we should have been buying for the last 3 or 4 years.
Well, we could have got him anyway, mate. His down payment's $1.5 million.
So why,
obviously Everton haven't got one.
No, and just. But
Sean Dyche has said, no, because I won't play him. No, but you've.
No, I know, you're right. You're right.
That's the manager as well. The manager, you said that the other day, you're sort of right. There's no. Kevin Thelwell is clearly a fan of him. And Everton, he's at Manchester United, wasn't he? As a kid. Well, in the youth academy. I think he was there till about 18, 19. He's gone off to Spain and done well. Kevin Thelwell might have been, this is a really good deal for us, quick. He's got the odd goal in him. But the manager might have been like, but I'm not going to play him because I need someone I can rely on. So you either do the thing of going, well, then he's the wrong manager for us. Or you do the thing of, well, let's get him someone he is going to use then. If he's not going to use this. Now, what Everton have to get to is the world where they do buy Largy Ramazani and we go, we're bringing him in for £6 million. And once we get up to speed and plays well, he's going for 20, 25. And we've got 20 million there off that. We're sorted. And we do it again. And we do it again. because that's the next bit. We have to put assets back on the pitch. The reality when you look at Everton's squad, the only asset we've really got right now is Jarrett Brantwaite, Jordan Pickford as well, of course. Everybody else is much of a muchness. Good players, don't get me wrong, James Tarkowski, great. But who's coming for Tarkowski with 30 million quid? Nobody. Mikalenko, maybe a club would pay 20, 25 million for him, maybe. Then in midfield, Irabunum, if he carries on, he becomes an asset. But right now, no one's coming with a bid for Irabunum. Idrissa Gana Gay's 35 next month. James Garner, no one's really coming for him right now, but he could develop into an asset, so that's okay. Decore, it'd only be the Saudi Pro League, and he's 31. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, well, no one's coming for him despite him wanting to go because his wages are too high, what he's asking for. Dwight McNeil, no one's coming for Dwight McNeil. Jack Harrison's on loan for it. So when you go through it, there's not like you can go, whereas if you go back 10 years, I know it's a long time, but Everton had Gerard Delafeu, James McCarthy, Ross Barkley, Romelu Lukaku, John Stones, just 5 off the top of my head. James Coleman was quite clearly only 25, so he was another. So Everton had a lot of assets there where you'd look and we were a bit worried because you know, and they did start to pick them off and things like that. So Everton have got to get back to that. Everton have got to get back to a way of going, look, we buy players who are under 23, and this is where the freaking thing would have been great because they have got a model now with Roma where it's like we only really want under 23 players. We have to do that. Not all of it doesn't have to be exclusively only under 23, but a large part of that should be, and then we develop them, because if you develop those assets, if we develop Yusuf Chimiti and he becomes a £40 million striker, brilliant. If we develop these kind of players, you know, Williman and Dye, to be fair, is only 23. Jake O'Brien might have 2 good years and then you can sell him for 35, 40 million, Max Kilman style. They're okay, but Everton need a lot more of them. But right now, the manager's also saying, actually need some players as well. You've got one left back. Everyone goes on about the right back and the right to be concerned about, but we've got one left back. That's just terrifying. The midfield is bare bones at times. Yeah, we need another midfielder. Our centre forward, one of them people don't think is good enough. The other one, we don't even know if he's going to be here at bloody 11 o'clock next Friday. And our third one's injured now till September. So that's not great. No. You know, if Dom signs a new deal tomorrow, great. We can go, right, our number 9 staying. Right, can we move Beto in the next week and get someone in? Italian clubs belong, you still like Beto. Can we do a deal? Can we bring El Belalsore, you know, can we bring somebody else in and do that deal? Then you can but while there's uncertainty over Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Everton have turned around and said Beto's not going anywhere. So they've knocked a couple of teams away from Beto who might have wanted to buy him. That's just where we are right now. But you're right, 6 million, Largy Ramazani. Go and get that little bit of pace, that little bit of je ne sais quoi that Everton don't have at the moment. That's why they want Nonto. They're clear on Nonto. They want him. He's fast. I think the manager will play him because he's played in the Premier League and done that. But without £12 million to put that on, Nonto ain't coming to Everton. Even with this kid arriving. Yeah.
I was just looking at the squad there. There's only 9 players in our squad who are contracted past 2026. So there's going to have to be a massive turnover of players in the squad. You know, Virginia out of contract next summer. Billy Crellin out of contract next summer. Harry Tara the season after. Tarky 2027. Branthwaite 2027. Tarky 2026. Jake O'Brien 2028. Michael Keane next summer. Mason Holgate next summer. Michalenko the summer after. Ashley Young next summer. Patterson 2027. Coleman next summer. James Garner 2026. Decore 2025. Tim Irabunum 27. Idrissa Gay 25. Lindstrom obviously on loan. Dwight McNeil 27. Jack Harrison obviously on loan. Dominic Calvert-Lewin obviously next summer. Beto 2027. Ndai 2029. Neil Mopai 25. Shimiti 27. Of the first team squad. So there is going to have to be a big turnover.
5 have got 10 months left on the contract already. And in a squad that is very thin. So you're either saying the likes of Harrison Armstrong, he's going to be part of it. Roman Dixon, yeah, he's going to be bad, but they've got to be good enough. They've got to show the manager they're good enough. And the manager's got to it's all about trust. The manager doesn't trust them, they're not going to get a go. End off.
Yeah. And we saw that the weekend.
So that's where we are. But if you've going to help the manager, the Everton are going to have to be creative for him and go, look, we're going to have to come up with something in the next 8 days, and it isn't just Kieran Trippier, because he needs more than that. The manager he said he wanted a midfield player. Is there anyone we can get on loan from abroad? He wants a fast winger. Can we get someone in that area? Well, we're going to have to do, we're going to really have to do something like that. I don't know how we do it. He doesn't seem, yeah, Bilal Touré's gone to Stuttgart, hasn't he? Sorry. But somewhat of that ilk sort of thing, he was available. So really, I don't know how we're creative, but we're going to have to be creative in the next week. We're going to have to be, mate.
I thought the Delhi news was just put the cherry on top.
Well, that's just...
How long does it take?
Don't know.
How long does it take? I mean...
Just make a decision.
He said last week or even the week before, yeah, going to get
last week it was.
Was it last week?
A games period and all that.
Going to get him games and stuff like that. He's not ready.
No. Again, that'll be classic. They'll play it it'll be the international break when they give him games, because it's easier to do.
Yeah.
That's what it'll be. Don't do today what you can do tomorrow, is Everton's motto. Still. I do look and just say, we are PSR plus 30, I think, or plus 28 million at the moment. So it's a cash issue. It's not a PSR issue. And therefore, if it's a cash issue, then you need to go to the owner and say, you need to make 15 million quid available, mate, because we need to spend it on players. We'll keep the club up. We'll develop the club, and we know we've got Jarrah Brandway to sell. And if we can sell X, Y, and Z in the next week, then the need for that, you can have that money back, and we're back where we are, because that's where we are. No, obviously it's not easy to do, but I think that's what other clubs will be doing right now. Because it's not like the manager's saying we're all right. I'd like one more, but we're fine. You can see that he's going. You know, with Tarkowski, if he's missing at the weekend, Everton have got 7 players out at Tottenham. 7. Okay, 3 of them are right backs, but they've got 7 players missing from a squad that is thin anyway. So you can't, you've got to give the manager. We can criticise the manager, and he does some things that I wouldn't do, and he's made some errors in that. But you gotta help him as well. Remove the excuses, and then you really can blame the manager. Then you'll know who's the problem. But you can't not give him a bit of help and just sort of go get on with it. I don't think so, anyway.
He just gets on with it.
No, he
anyway,
will get on with it. Of course he'll get on with it. Of course he will. But I'm just saying, you've got to give them another couple of options at least then. Get them a bit of bleeding pace. It's enough out there. There's enough players out there who are quick. And you know what? If it's a flip of a coin between Kieran Trippier and, I'm not saying it is, by the way, or Noni Madueke at Chelsea, go and get him Noni Madueke. Say to Trippier, no, that's okay. We'll battle through with the right backs we've got. Do you know what I mean? If you can do a domestic loan, that's better than what we have in an attacking sense, and will give the club more goals. Go and get him. If you can do a European loan that you think that sort of does that, and Trippier will shore up the defence, then get Trippier. They've got to do something. Sitting on their hands and going, well, we probably won't, be able to do anything in the next week. That isn't, to me, and this isn't on Sean Dyche, to me, that isn't good enough. That's Kevin Thelwell, that's Farhad Moshiri, the board, Colin, all of them. They've got to come up with something in the next 8 days that allows Everton to do some business. And that might be saying, we'll take 18 for Dom instead of 20. If he's the one, or Decore, we'll take 15 instead of 20 for Decore. Whatever. Can you piece it together? And the manager might turn around and say, I'd rather keep Dom and Decore and let them run the contract down because they're not. And then you go, okay. But we do definitely, in my opinion, need we need some pace in them wide areas. The 2 lads we've brought in will help creativity-wise, They're not pace merchants. McNeil isn't a pace merchant in the slightest in any universe, is he? And Jack Harrison,
there might be a universe somewhere.
And Jack Harrison isn't a sprinter. He's a hard worker. Jack Harrison, and I still think we should give the lad a go on the left-hand side where he can get it out of his feet and throw it across. Give it something, but we'll just have to see, won't we? Just have to see. Frustrating. But it is only early.
Do you know when you ever got asked about today in press conference? And shame on them. Asmir Begovic.
Oh, yeah, big beggars.
No one asked him.
Goalkeeping coach,
You know what I mean?
extraordinary.
Well, he's not a coach, is he?
Well, that's what he's coming in for. He's coming in to
They're going to sack the goalkeeper coach as well.
He's coming in to be.
There is no evidence that would just
do a bit of both. I used to sack him Billy Mercer, just me. But he's coming in to do a bit of both, I think, because obviously that's probably what he's looking forward to for his career. But he's a solid number 2. Do you think they'll be looking to sell Virginia in the next 10 days?
He's in his last year's contract.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, do you think they'll actively be looking to see if they can get a bid for him from somewhere?
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Selling everything else.
Absolutely. Got no car parks to sell. No hotel.
Get him down on the stadium, finishing it off. Do a bit of joinery there. Ciao.
What's your name?
Billy.
Ciao, the joiner.
Got you alone, Billy. Yes. Where am I going, boss? The new stadium.
You're painting.
You're painting the dressing room.
Badge. The crest needs painting, Billy.
Dicko. Got you the game. The glass needs sorting. The new stadium.
Bobby Lennon needs some help.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what happens. I'm not entertaining mad comments. You know. We'll see. We'll see. I personally, I'm putting it on the club really to come up with that money for the manager or for Kevin Thelwell. And there's many different ways to skin a cat, and Everton have to do it. Everton have to look for, not obviously not really skinning cats. Everton have to look to be creative in this next 8 days and come up with something. There are still players available. Chelsea have got 846 of them. We're not getting anywhere near it. Go and put a cheeky bid in for Raheem Sterling on loan. You wouldn't have Sterling.
Not for his wages.
No, his wages.
Bankrupters.
Yeah, of course it would. But you know what I mean? There's players available out there, isn't there, who would certainly help Everton. Rob isn't impressed with this press conference. There's coughing and sniffing on the wipe of the head. Juan says hello. So does Gary Wood. Adam says them pressers are so awful. Do the club vet the questions before they go in and tell them what they can and can't ask? Fair play to Julius.
God, they hope not.
What?
Scott, they hope not.
No, they shouldn't.
It'll be like awful.
Fair play to Julius. He tried with the comments after the game. No one presses any of his answers. Everyone seems terrified of him, and you can hear their voices trembling while they ask questions. What a waste of time. Jake says, don't learn anything from Dyche's press conferences. He's very dull. Combined age of Coleman, Young and Trippier. Ryan says, the club exhausts me. I have zero faith we'll sign anyone. The manager isn't helpful with his sarcastic comments, and the ownership situation is a laughing stock. Hard to stay positive for this season. Josh says, all right, some no more signings unless it's another 40-year-old on loan. No Tarky on Saturday. So my prediction of 3-0 to Tottenham is now 5-0. What a time to be alive. Mark says, feels like we're back in the trenches, lads. Glad the Trippier rumour sounds like crap, does it? It would mean our right back combined age of 120. Okay. Sounds like another week without Jesper, Ndai and O'Brien. No, O'Brien will play because Tarky won't be fit. But Ndai and Jesper Lindstrom. Listen, no matter whether you like the manager or you don't, he has to assess whether they're fit or not. If he doesn't think they're up to playing in the Premier League, like now, he makes the decision, doesn't he? You mightn't like it, but he lives and dies by his team selections. So, Martin says, if you weren't the press before that press conference, then you will be now. Ryan says, does Dyche have a history of running players into the ground in pre-season? Dreadful how many injuries we've picked up already. Evan Viking says, I'll be totally honest, I'm deeply concerned about the actions or inactions going into the final few days of the window. We really, really do need to strengthen, but I don't think we have the bravery to do the deals we need. That's the word we need to do. We did okay early on, but even that was just basics. Every other team has done that and more. Really, really concerned. Conrad says, nightmare. Hacken says, Little Boy Blue has been in my collection for years. I haven't got myself to see it before. All of the days I binged it for the first time because I could not sleep afterwards. Evan had a message on Facebook saying it was the date of Reece Jones's murder. Yeah, it's a brilliant reenaction of a terrible situation and an awful thing. But it's you watch it and it's incredible really what went on and what so many years ago. Horrible.
17 years, wasn't it?
Sad, such a sad event that should never have happened. Jay says maybe no Tarkovsky for Spurs. Oh, let the good times roll. Trippier, of course, he's slow and old. Great delivery, but if Dom goes, what's the point? Anyhow, are we all well? Yeah, we're all right, apart from footy. Mark Mack says, I can see another Arteta-style deadline day. We sell Dom and fail to sign Benny McCarthy.
It's the dream.
The dream. Mathew says, being sat there on Saturday watching that, it was clear the manager has no plan on how to evolve this side. The league is stronger than last season unless he can figure out a different way other than 70-yard diagonals and kicking the ball at Dom's head. We're already at a disadvantage. We don't come back from a goal down and we don't get wingers in behind. I just have no idea what Dyche does every day in training. Don't know, mate. Don't know. We'll see. Do it.
That's Dyche days. Gaffer days.
Yeah. Brian says, so all these injuries are due to Dyche getting the players Dyche fit.
Maybe.
Tazul says, this is depressing, guys, nothing else to say. Russell says, anyone know how to watch these videos on a pop-up screen as opposed to watch YouTube? No idea. Martin says, seen something today and Everton have the lowest contract length in the Premier League with 41 years between all the players.
True.
Chelsea have 120, isn't it? Something. Mark thinks we'll re-sign Andre Gomez.
Why not?
Adam says 20 million will get Dom the closer we get to the deadline. Do need a couple of days to get players in though when he goes out. Yeah. You've got to hope that, and I'm sure they have, that they've got a list of what they want in case this happens.
Yeah, you'd think so. I mean, that's literally someone's job to have a list of players.
So, Daniel said, would anyone have tried to sign Sander Berge if he wasn't going to Fulham? I wouldn't want him here. I think he's too slow. But he's a decent footballer, like. Wouldn't have had the money anyway, to be fair. Bill says, new season, new despair. Rob says, I rang my local JD Sports in Belfast and they said they aren't getting any Everton shirts in. Interesting. It's supposed to be in there. Yeah. Don't know.
Where are you, Belfast?
Belfast.
Don't know,
mate. Bill says the lack of an idea of a plan just feels so dispiriting. Listening to him talk is just deflection and negativity. And Dan says these are meant to be elite coaches of a professional team of the best league in the world. It's like Dyche, John, say plan the dive and dive the plan. As fuck the plan, here's Keane live. I don't think Dyche has to listen to John, per se. But
who's Percy?
Percy is a fast winger. Ota on the super chat, thank you very much. Says, hi lads, lots of love from Australia. Disappointing start to the season, but Dyche will see us through. Wish my pathetic AFL team, Fremantle Dockers, luck this week. Hopefully we will scrape through into the finals. Good luck to the Fremantle Dockers this week. Ota, enjoy. And hopefully Everton will be all right as well. Tom says, if this is a sample of the way we're going to play this season, this might be the year our luck runs out. Well, we've only played one game, haven't we? Come on. Let's just see what happens. Posh Matty says they've got a buyer's log for players also.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what it comes down to.
without a buyer's log, where would you be?
That's what it comes down to. It's all about that, isn't it? It's all about that. And that's where you have to go. You have to go to the buyer's log. See if there's any more. There's two types of people, isn't there? One who blame Dyche for everything and the other one who blame him for nothing.
I blame Farhad Moshiri for
And the
everything.
reality is it's in between. Isn't it?
I don't even think it is in between. I blame Farhad Moshiri for everything. Literally everything.
Okay.
Because it's all his fault. These things are just byproducts. It's Farhad Moshiri's fault, nobody else's. It's just as simple as that.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Sean Dyche is just a byproduct. The same way Sam Allardyce was a byproduct. The same way Rafa Benitez was a byproduct. Nobody had though, aren't he?
What did you think of his comment the other day?
I thought he was talking absolute bollocks, but I get the sentiment. Him saying we're going to make £750 million a year is just cloud cuckoo land.
No, that's Allardyce.
I know what I'm saying.
No,
the sentiments I agree with. The numbers are bollocks.
He said 300 million.
Oh, he was talking absolute. The numbers were fanciful. They were like, I think he'd probably seen what Spurs making on Everton will just make that, and that's just not true because
The clip I saw, he said Everton will make 200 to 300 million a year, but they already make 200 million a year.
the money he was talking about with the ground was fanciful, but I get the sentiment.
What did you think of Rafa saying when he went to the interview? Everton were basically like, yeah, we're going.
I have no issue with Rafa Benitez.
No, saying they're giving you all this money, you're going to do this, and then when he got in the door,
He said they haven't. We've heard that loads of times.
Yeah.
No issue. Rafa Benitez was just a bad fit, and was just If Sean Dyche had managed Liverpool and said things before, everyone would hate Sean Dyche right now. That's just the facts. That's just the facts. See what it did there.
I see what you did.
But that is the way it is. Simple as that. But the number one person everyone should look at is the owner. He has absolutely fucked this club. Nobody has though. He's absolutely destroyed this football. It's never too early for. It's in Australia. It's the middle of the night. He has absolutely destroyed this football club. It's on its arse.
No, it is.
And it's because of him, and everything else is just a byproduct. Simple as that.
Yeah, definitely. Daniel, the overlap was all right. Speak that much, it was all right. There was too much Liverpool for my liking.
I thought Liverpool had done theirs last week.
Yeah, well, basically what they're doing is they're having like 10 on at a time. Now, you should have more, but they're doing 10. But what essentially that means is it's Liverpool United.
See, that's nonsense, that.
Tottenham City every week. Every time.
What they should do is
that's what it's going to
genuinely just have one show where it's the top 6 and everyone else. I said this to Carragher. I told him, do a show for everybody else because otherwise it's nonsense. Because even you can't even answer a question with somebody else finishing it for you.
I think it wasn't as bad yesterday, but it was only short. Do you know what I mean? But what can you do? Right, we're done. We are done. Yeah, let's see. Listen, stranger things have happened. Spurs could have 41 shots, and Everton.
Spurs fans think we're going to win.
I've seen Spurs fans saying, "Oh, we can't play against a low block, and up next is Everton." Great. Okay. Mad. John Nesbitt, you're getting the final say. Scouser living in Vietnam. I'm a Red, but I enjoy watching your channel, lads. Hope you manage to get some players in, have a decent season.
See, in Vietnam,
Cheers, John.
Swearing time in Vietnam, no issues.
And Adam, I didn't mention this the other day. Adam from Qatar, who stopped me in the Bullens at the weekend, who says that he listens. He's from Liverpool, but he's gone to work out there and listens to it because, and all that. So, hello, Adam. Hope you're good. Right, we're done. Take it easy, everyone. See you later.